The Mayo Experience.
That Mayo Experience. That Mayo Experience. That Mayo Experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience Sunday Live. We're going to hit your questions around the 11 a.m. hour, so that's when we're going to start piling them in. So if you pile them in right now, probably not going to get to them. So you might as well wait till the 11 o'clock hour. We will get to a few right off the top, though. I do want to let you know, no Sunday Live. Next week, it is Canadian Thanksgiving, so I'm off for the weekend. I'll be back on Monday, though, 10 a.m., new time for Mondays for the recap and waiver wire live. You can find that on the DraftKings YouTube channel. And for this show, you can get it on demand on the iTunes feed around 11:15 a.m. We'll cut the question and answer period, so it'll be up even before the show is actually over, just to get everyone in. Remember, smash that like button. Goes a long way. Garion Thorne is here. He's going to be the update man.
Hello.
Keeping on top of everything. But I got a few questions for you from the chat before we start. The people who got in early, got to reward them for getting here on time.
That's true.
And don't be afraid to spread the show around. That would be very nice.
That'd be fantastic.
Retweets, tell a friend, come in, tell them to hit the like button. We'll be good to go. First question, Eckler or John Brown in half point? I'm going John Brown.
Yeah, I think it's John Brown.
Drake or Sony Michel on DK?
On DK, I think it's Sony Michel.
Yeah,
I
it probably
like
is
Sony
Michel. He's $1,000 less.
Yeah. And we just don't trust the volume of Drake. If there's one thing you can trust with Michel, actually the only thing you can really trust with Michel is volume.
Zach asked, pick 2 full point PPR. DT, A-Rob, and Kenny Golladay. I would go
DT and Golladay.
I would go Allen Robinson and Golladay. I like all three of them, though.
I don't really trust Allen Robinson this week.
I do trust Allen Robinson. Against a bad defense, he's the guy who's getting all the market share.
Yeah, but it's bad market share.
Well, it was bad market share when he was matched up with Patrick Peterson.
No, it's bad market share when I believe it's 60% of your passes are catchable, or your targets are catchable. I mean, that really, when only 3 of 5 targets are actually catchable, that really diminishes the number of targets. He's got like an empty target share.
Okay, Chris Carson or Alex Collins in half point? I'd go Collins. Collins has been, not great, but, not bad every week.
Yeah, but that was Carson last week, just volume.
Yeah, but is he really realistically going to get 30 carries again?
No, but I think he's going to get 20. I don't think Alex Collins can say that.
Yeah,
although you know what I would say though, no, you know what? Because Alex Collins is the Sunday game. I would say Carson for now, and if Carson doesn't play, then you just got Alex Collins for Sunday night.
We'll get to the injuries here in a second. Pat needs some help. Pick 2: Deshaun Jackson, Jordy Nelson, or Chris Kirk. I would go Deshaun Jackson and Chris Kirk. Although Jordy's in a better spot because I think that Ward will be on Cooper.
Yeah. It's just tough, though. It's really like you said last week. One, the Raiders only can be potent offensively for a half.
And can only throw to one player.
Yeah, they only throw one receiver per game.
And it was Jordy's week last week. It's Seth Roberts' week this week.
Oh, God, that's an ugly week.
All right, last one. Greetings from the UK. Oh, greetings, Stephen. I hope your Ryder Cup is going well. I know that if the Europeans can hold on, then my Ryder Cup is going very well.
Very well.
Last one. John Brown or James White in Standard? John Brown. For Standard leagues.
Yeah, for Standard league.
Even in PPR, I'd take John Brown.
Yeah.
John Brown's great.
I think I'm putting a lot of my shares onto the Sony Michel train this week. So I'm not going to.
It's not even that. I prefer James White to Sony Michel, but John Brown against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh has no defense.
That's a good point.
And John Brown, again, has been good every single week.
There you go.
All right, let's introduce the third member of the team before we get to the updated rankings and the injury report. Remember, give it a like, especially for this man. His name, Tim Undergust.
Tim Undergust.
That is not my name.
No, I heard it was.
Well, you heard lies. That's what you hear.
No, you're just too busy out there living your truth to know what reality is. Can't live in the real world. You got to live in the fictional world of Tim Undergust.
I don't know what you're talking about.
All right, so let's get to some of these injuries. Fournette looks like he's in. Shady looks like he's in.
Yep.
Jay Ajayi going to play with his back problem. TJ Yeldon also going to be in with an ankle injury. And Corey Clement appears like he is going to play with a quad injury. So no real changes from Friday. The rankings are all updated in the description of this video. If you go to dkplaybook.com, go to my Facebook page, you find all the rankings up there. Devonta Freeman, Mixon, Darren Sproles, and Jonathan Stewart all going to be out. The wide receivers, though, bit dicey. I didn't think that Alshon was going to play. Now it looks like he's going to play. So we talked a bit off air right before we came on of where I should slot him in. Put him at number 42 in the rankings.
Seems about right.
I have him in between Antonio Callaway and Amari Cooper.
We've got no way to know what his snap count is going to be.
And Tennessee's defense is pretty good.
Yeah. Also, Alshon is. We've kind of talked about these archetypes of players before, but he is the perfect guy to run out there as a decoy. Like, he's not getting much separation anyway, but just have him take the cap off the defense. Hopefully he draws a safety and opens things up under the middle. Like, Aguilar could have a better day because of this.
That's true.
So I would say, in terms of DK, I'm not playing him anywhere. I just don't trust it. I kind of like Carson Wentz this week. I just feel like no one's going to be on him.
I'm just not touching that game. I just think that's a very sloggy, low-scoring, run-heavy game. So, Tim, what do you make of Elshon? Would you play Elshon?
I would definitely play him. Yes, if he's healthy.
I mean, he's playing. That doesn't mean he's
That's what I
necessarily
mean.
healthy.
If they think if he's playing, I'm playing him. No doubt in my mind. He's the best receiver they have by a country mile.
I just think he's best case scenario, even in a 3-wide receiver league, he's a flex option.
And that's where I have him
And I
ranked.
feel like you probably, realistically, you'd have a higher, maybe not a higher ceiling guy, but I would maybe, with his floor being so low in this spot, I would maybe just find someone who I'm more safe with in my flex spot.
Okay, so Tim, let me ask you, there's 3 guys returning, it appears, from injury or new teams or whatever. You have Josh Gordon, you have Alshon Jeffrey, and you have Doug Baldwin. I think Doug Baldwin is the play of those 3 guys.
Oh, easily.
Yeah, I would rank them in the reverse order you named them. Yeah, Baldwin, Jeffrey, Gordon.
And that's the way that I have it. I think it's really hard to play Josh Gordon here. This feels
Yeah.
like 5 touchdowns or 0.
This is the kind of game, if you own Josh Gordon, you're very fine with it's the rare circumstance where if you have someone on your bench and you miss a 3-touchdown game, you can be happy.
You're
with it.
happy. You're like, hey,
Because
this is great.
This is a sign of things to come. You just can't play him until you see what his share in this offense is. Like, Belichick's so seedy and Weasley anyway. Like, he could play 4 snaps in this game. We have no idea.
Yeah, so I just wouldn't play Gordon.
Also, he's probably going to see Xavier Howard if he does play, and that's not a great matchup.
That's why it's almost like how you say if Jeffrey comes back, it helps Aguilar, and I agree. I would play Aguilar over Jeffrey. I'd play Chris Hogan over Josh Gordon.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
So, Tim, how would you treat like Aguilar, and how would you treat Chris Hogan?
Aguilar's definitely playable. I still think Jeffrey's a better play than Aguilar, but Hogan I think is fine. Hogan I expect to have a good day. I like you said, assuming Gordon plays, I think Howard is over on Gordon. I think there's no reason to think that this is not going to be a big day for Chris Hogan. Points are going to be scored by New England. If they take Gronk out of the game, as they're going to try to do, Hogan makes all the sense in the world. Hogan and White, to me, are must-starts this week.
I will say, in a standard league with Aguilar, it's a little bit scarier with Alshon back just because he's got the highest percentage of his catches this season have gone for less than 10 yards. Like, he's just not someone who's got a high ceiling in a non-PPR format. So maybe he moves down into, like, clear wide receiver 3 back-end territory in a standard, but I still think I'd play him across the board.
Are you seeing any updates on Randall Cobb at all?
No, not yet. I'm
Because he
kind of
was-
watching that one.
He got hurt on Thursday in practice.
Didn't
He
play Friday.
Didn't practice Friday, which makes sense because he got hurt on Thursday.
Yeah, and don't
So
you
it-
always feel more inclined with a veteran player to kind of go,
Sure,
the
but
Friday designation doesn't mean the most?
But it's also circumstance, too.
Sure.
Where if he hurt his hamstring on a Thursday, it would make sense that he wouldn't practice on
Exactly.
a Friday to let himself get better. It's not like he got hurt on Sunday, was limited, then didn't practice.
Yes.
The injury actually occurred in practice. We don't know how healthy he is. In the rankings, I moved Geronimo Allison ahead of him. And I would even bump Geronimo Allison up a bit if Cobb were to sit.
sure.
And I initially came into the week liking Randall Cobb against the Bills on DK for the price because everyone's kind of off Cobb.
Yeah.
And maybe he ends up becoming a nice tournament play here if he ends up going because everyone, including myself, is going to be off of him. But I think you can just go to Allison. If that's what you wanted to play there, like everyone likes Sterling Shepard in that range. Everyone likes Calvin Ridley in that range. I mean, Allison's in a pretty good spot as well. If you think Tre'Davious White is someone who can shut people down, I don't know if he can shut down Devontae Adams. But Geronimo Allison's going to have plenty of space to run free.
Well, I finally figured out what Devontae Adams is for me. He's just 2014 Des Bryant, which is he's going to accrue so much of his fantasy points by just running that classic Des route on the goal line. He's going to stand a yard from the goal line, get a back shoulder fade, and then just get the ball in the end zone. And that's, I mean, White's a great cornerback, but really, if you're playing Devontae Adams, you're just banking on the touchdown.
Yeah, listen,
He's
you're
fine at this
playing
point.
Devontae Adams.
Yeah,
I'm not saying
you are.
bench Devontae
Yeah.
Adams. So
I mean in DK.
yeah, so Tim, in the backfield for Green Bay, do you have a specific take on any of these guys? Are any of them playable?
It's hard to say. I mean, if you compelled me to play somebody, I'd play Williams, but that's just a hunch. I mean, I anticipate the Packers taking care of business pretty comfortably, and then who the heck knows who? I mean, I expect it'll just be a ton of running from Green Bay, and I just my hunch is it'll be Williams.
If that's the script, I mean, is there a possibility that they just decide Aaron Jones need to kind of work the rust out
I-
in a
I-
game?
That's also possible. I buy that.
I have Aaron Jones ranked the highest of the three of them. I don't have him ranked particularly highly. I think I have him at 20. Let's see here. Where are you
27, 28, something like that.
26, actually.
Yeah.
I am one spot ahead of Derrick Henry.
Sure,
He's
I mean,
kind of
look,
useless.
we talked about this before. Derrick Henry is any game where you think Tennessee is not going to win comfortably is not a good game script for Derrick Henry at this point. That's just as simple as it is. But with Jones, if this were a normal week where the Packers weren't nearly a double-digit home favorite, I would just say Jamal Williams is the best play of the three, but I wouldn't really be inclined to play any of them.
That's fair.
He seemed to have, I think it was 30 to 18 in terms of the snap count last week. But yeah, I just feel like this is almost, in a weird way, like a week one NCAA game for the Packers. And I don't want to overstate that the Bills, we thought this last week and it didn't turn out to be the case, but if the Packers end up getting up by 3 scores, I could just see Aaron Jones getting majority of the work and just getting him back into the flow of this offense. So yeah, I'm with you. I think.
So the other things, Kiki Kute is back for the Texans, making his season debut. No Bruce Ellington; he was put on IR. I've been talking all week that my favorite game stack is that Colts Texans game. He's only $3,000 on DraftKings. He makes a lot of things very possible. It's a very low percentage play, obviously. But I think if you're going to stack the Texans, throwing him in there, I think, is better than putting in like Ryan Griffin.
We talked about this last week. Do you feel like he's a better play than Kirk? Just with Kirk probably going to be the chalk under $4,000.
I like Christian Kirk. I like him at his price point, but you're still saving $600, and in a week where everyone is paying up for running backs, then the $600 becomes a lot at some point.
Yeah.
So in places where I can play Kirk, I would rather play Kirk. But if I need to save that $600 as a part of that Texans, like I'm not playing Kute independent of Deshaun Watson.
Right. Yeah.
If I'm using Deshaun Watson, I'm using him in lineups. Like I played 5 of those stacks with Deshaun Watson at quarterback. He's in 2 of them.
Right. Do you have, with those savings with Kute, do you have any Alvin Kamara? Like, is he someone you paid?
Oh, Alvin Kamara's in all those lineups.
Okay, there you go.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
to me, that $600 is so important.
Well, I was
like
just wondering
that
how-
means I have to play like Titans defense.
Sure.
I have to play Kiki Kute. I need to play Eric Ebron and or OJ Howard and or David Njoku or Rhett Ellison. Like I don't think I've played a tight end that's more than $3,500.
Fair. I do like Ryan Griffin this week, though.
Griffin.
I look at the vulnerability of that Colts defense when it comes to targeting the tight end position. They've allowed the most targets to tight ends through 3 weeks. And, Griffin hasn't popped at all. We were
he has
kind of
not.
hoping he might have, but he's still on the field almost every snap. He's playing 80% of the snaps through 3 games.
You know what? They may need him to block.
Yeah, well, it's the Will Disley thing, too. At some point.
Walt Disley.
Sorry, Walt Disley. He's a national treasure. I apologize. Yeah, maybe that's in their best case. But when he's that cheap against a defense that vulnerable specific to his position, and he's just the guy who plays, I'll take a couple shots with him this week.
All right, Tim, you like the Giants to beat the Saints this week. What do you think? Like, do you think that's going to be the shootout that people are predicting?
Rashad Jones unlikely to play.
Rashad Jones on
Sony Michel. Value
bump up
goes
Sony
up.
Michel. There you go. Sony Michel's a nice price. Tim's out on Sony Michel.
Any running back who isn't James White is useless in the Patriots offense. I say this every week. I'm proven right every week. And then people say, how can I pick a running back who isn't James White on the Patriots to play this week? Keep pounding your head. If the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results, then giving shade to James White is the definition thereof.
That would make you insane expert, Tim Anderson. Is that why you're a doctor of being insane? Because you know?
I realized as I was saying that sentence that would not go unsaid.
So what is it like? What do you think happens in the Saints-Giants game then? Is it more of a slog than we expect, or is it an absolute shootout?
I expected it to be. I picked a very high-scoring game. I think. Do you remember a couple of years ago when these teams played and it was like 38-35?
Yeah, but that was like the last time the Giants actually scored more than 30 points in a game. It's been. It's been almost 2.5 seasons.
That was also the last time the Giants had the level of elite weapons that they have now on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, you put together a great running back, a top-tier receiver, another really good receiver in Shepard. I think everybody is going to eat for New York because the Saints defense has been proven not to be that good. And there's no reason to think the Giants defense is going to be good either. So, yeah, I think there's just points abound on both sides.
I'm curious to see, this is the first game that New Orleans has played outside all season.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, historically, some of their pieces, like Ted Ginn, has not fared well in outdoor games.
I like
the
Ted
last two
Ginn this
seasons.
week, though.
Look, I like
I'm just
he's in a
looking
good
for.
spot.
I'm just looking for other parts of
Sure.
this game. Like Rhett Ellison and Barkley are the only two Giants I'm playing.
And that's the
Rhett
thing.
Ellison is mainly because of savings.
I'm not saying that you can't play Giants. I would just maybe take it easy on how many Giants you play. I think Ellison's fine because he's a tight end, and tight end just creates desperation. But really, outside of Barkley and Odell Beckham, like I'm not looking to play Sterling Shepard, especially
People
with
are
the chalk
in
he's gonna
on.
have.
Yeah, he might
Just
be the
really too chalky.
he might be the highest owned guy at receiver on DraftKings this week.
Yeah, exactly. And I just feel like with what his skill set lends itself to, I mean, sure, he could probably have 7 catches for like 65, 70 yards, but unless he gets that touchdown, that is not good chalk.
Well, the way that I would kind of look at it, I mean, it's a lot like Tyler Boyd last week, where Tyler Boyd scores the touchdown. All of a sudden, at his price point, it's just out of this world. And I faded him because I don't like playing the chalk at receivers sub $4,000. I'd rather just, generally speaking, they're all coin flips. So if you're going to take one guy at a tenth of the ownership, you just take that guy and hope the other guy busts out, and then you're way ahead of the game. Right now, with Sterling Shepard at his price point, there are other good receivers around him, and he's $1,100 more than Boyd was last week in that upper $4,000 range. And you can, like I said, Geronimo Allison, even if Cobb plays, like, what are the odds Sterling Shepard outscores Geronimo Allison? 60-40?
Yeah, we'll put it there.
Yeah, I would say
PPR,
about that, maybe
around
65-35.
Yeah, 65-35. So is that worth playing a guy that's going to be 7 times more owned? No. Like when you start making that trade-off, unless Sterling Shepard ends up becoming the slate game breaker, then you're fine. Even if he does outscore Allison at that spot.
Exactly. I just don't think – I think the likelihood of him scoring fewer than 10 points is just as strong as the likelihood of him scoring 20-plus points. And at that point, with that chalk, that's just not an investment you want to make.
I do like that I somehow have coined the Doug Bitcoin Baldwin name now. Because how everyone bought Bitcoin is how I bought Doug Baldwin.
Too late?
No, at the peak.
Oh,
I got in right when it was the most expensive, and now he's worth nothing.
I was told Bitcoin could never go down.
The internet did tell me that.
That the laws of supply and demand and economics didn't apply to it.
Well, the whole thing is that everyone was convinced that money would no longer be a thing after Bitcoin. Like 2 months after Bitcoin really hit its top, they're like, "Wow, it can only go up from here. It's gonna be worth $100,000 in like 2 weeks."
Big paper got in the way.
Yeah, the Michael Scott industry. Yeah, big paper. But I'm playing Baldwin. I think if are they rushing him back because he's not healthy? Like their offense is not good, but it was acceptable without Doug Baldwin.
It was all right.
And if there was a game, maybe they think that, hey, we're playing Arizona. We need to beat Arizona. If we have any chance, we need everyone to go here. I get that aspect of it too, but I don't think they would just rush Baldwin back.
No, I guess he's fine. I mean, this is someone who did come out before week 1 and say he's probably not going to be 100% all season long. Like this is a lingering type knee injury. So I don't know if I'm playing him this week or I'm super excited to play him this week. I guess he retakes over the slot, which is the way you'd like to attack the Cardinals.
He's always had a lot of success against Arizona too.
Yeah. I mean, look, I was already not high on Tyler Lockett this week. This makes me super low on Tyler Lockett. I kind of like Arizona in this game.
Really?
I keep coming. I think this is the week David Johnson breaks out. I mean, the Seahawks' run defense has been putrid. I don't mind. I've got a lot of David Johnson Cardinals D lineups.
Really?
I mean, Seattle.
They give up sacks.
Seattle gives up a high floor of sacks. They're a home dog. The projected team total for both these teams is around 20 points. Like, I just don't think this is a high-scoring game. At 2-6, I really don't mind the Cardinals. I mean,
I prefer the Bears at 2-6 if we're playing a defense.
That's fair.
Or I'd rather drop down to the Colts, who basically have the same script as you're talking about.
I got a lot of Colts too.
I have a defense in mind that's probably cheaper that I think is going to have a big day.
Let me guess, the Jets defense.
No, they were silver and black.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think that. I mean, when was the last time a rookie QB started on the road, particularly in that kind of environment, and won a game?
Yeah, but it's not about winning and losing the game. It's about generating fantasy points, and Oakland has no pass rush.
I expect a couple of turnovers from Mayfield. I think special teams mistakes from that weird Browns team. I think that if there was a game this week, you said to me, this team got shut out, I would say the Browns would be the team that I would pick.
I just, like Pat said, I mean, not only is pass rush important in terms of generating sacks, but I mean, there's no urgency. There is no urgency for any team that plays the Oakland Raiders. I mean, this is part and parcel with their schedule as a whole, but like Ryan Tannehill has been pressured on the least amount of snaps of any quarterback in the league through 3 weeks. A big part of that is the Raiders just let him sit in the pocket and stand there. Like, They just don't generate any pressure. Look, I think Oakland's going to win this game. But
Well, I see. I was big on Oakland winning this game too until Tim said they had no chance. So then I switched my pick to Cleveland.
fair, but I feel like this is almost this happens a lot.
Raiders
like
win the first half. Raiders win every
true.
first half.
But this happens a lot in DFS baseball, where there'll be a pitcher who lines up pretty well. He's a good pitcher, but if he's going to throw 7 scoreless innings but only strike out 2 guys, doesn't really mean anything. It's just empty numbers, and I think the Raiders could have an empty shutout. I don't think it's going to be a shutout, but the Browns might score 10 points, but the Raiders might only score 4 DK points in the process.
Yeah,
I
so,
just don't see it.
Update from the Ryder Cup. Jordan Spieth goes down, loses 5-4 to Thunder Bear. Here we go, Euros. Let's pile this up. Any other, do you have any, Tim, besides that New Orleans Giants game, what other games do you see shooting out here that maybe we should target? Because we haven't really talked about Atlanta-Cincinnati. I'm playing Gio in 70% of my lineups.
Sure.
I'm playing Coleman in a bunch, and I'm playing Kamara.
Yeah, I had that game as a very high-scoring game.
Do you like Dalton?
Yeah, I think Dalton has a huge day. Like anyone in a league that maybe they lost Garoppolo or something, Dalton is the perfect plug-in to really go nuts today.
He's just saying that because he likes my team.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Is he just systematically knocking out every single one of your players?
Yeah.
Your unbeatable fantasy team is just going to be depleted, and you'll have IR
I just
guys
happened
by the
to
end of the year?
randomly play Garion this week.
Oh, so there you go.
true.
So who else
And
on
I'm
Garion?
I'm already down -5 points.
Are you?
That's what you get for starting an overrated and bad defense
true.
in fantasy.
I just started the Vikings, dude.
Oh,
I
yeah,
really
that
can't
probably
pick up
wasn't
a
the
new
best
one.
move.
No,
I-
I doubt you'll own them after this
I
week.
didn't want to drop any of my other players to pick up a different.
In all
defense.
sincerity, I think Dalton has a very big day. I mean, Atlanta's so crippled and hurt. I mean, I just think I picked that game on the show 33-30, and I stand by that. I think it's going to be a super high-scoring game.
Yeah, I think it's 35-25 for Atlanta.
Yeah.
I don't know who I want from these teams, though, is the thing. A.J. Green was lifted from the injury report with his pelvic injury. Too much thrusting. So
I will say I don't
Only
like
allowed 2
Ridley this
thrusts.
week.
Remember
I
that.
will say I actually don't like Ridley.
I was gonna say I like Julio a lot this week. I just think
Julio
where
is the
people,
guy I like, yeah.
even if it's only 2 or 3% of ownership shifting from Julio to Ridley, I think this is the week where Julio scores his 2 touchdowns, and then there's another 3-week period where he doesn't score at all.
Okay, so
And we
if
question
Julio
why.
has one of those Julio games this week where it's 7 catches, 171 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
That's not even a Julio game. A Julio game is 10 catches, 202 yards.
Okay, let's say
and a
he has
touchdown.
one of those games. Do you flip Julio at max
Maybe.
value?
Maybe.
Just knowing
Although,
that the 7 for 77 for 3 weeks is coming back?
will-
He's always going to be good.
Sure, he's inconsistent when it comes to the touchdowns. We know that, we accept that at this point. They have just looked better in the red zone the last 2 weeks. If maybe they finally rediscovered how to score a touchdown, which could lend itself to Julio
I'm
value.
convinced that they get themselves into a lot of trouble trying to flip between Coleman and Freeman. I think that screws up
just
their
simplifies.
offense. And
Oh,
just
interesting.
having Coleman or having Freeman, one of the two. I don't think it matters which one it is. Just it's Coleman right now. I think that helps.
Sarkeesian's just up there
He does. I mean, calling the man a moron is probably a bit strong, but I mean, he could be drunk. Who knows? He has a long history with that, so he just might be.
I'm actually a fan of Sarkeesian's.
Why? Because he ruined poor USC.
No, I think he gets a ton of scorn from obnoxious people who don't quite realize he's really good at his job.
I think I think it is a matter of juxtaposition. I think anyone who had to fill in that position for Shanahan was always going to be screwed in the sense that they weren't going to be producing at the level Shanahan was and that offense was. But I don't know, he's been all right. You probably think Scott Linehan is still a great offensive coordinator.
No, I don't. He has two good offensive pieces because I remain a Tavon Austin truther. But no, other than that, no, he doesn't have much to work with either.
Randall Cobb looks like he's out.
Okay.
So it's
Geronimo.
So I guess we need to have the discuss. Oh, Ronald Jones expected to be active today too. Sweet.
Great.
They
have two running backs to knock out the ball too.
I would pick him up.
I have him in a couple leagues.
He's been dropped in so many leagues. I wouldn't play him, but I would definitely go pick him up.
He's a perfectly fine stock to just sit on your bench. And look, it's not like Peyton Barber's done anything to
that's the thing.
really own this job.
I mean, I don't think that's really, in fairness to him.
It's not really his
They
fault,
don't give him the
yeah.
ball. Every time they give him the ball, he seems to be all right. But I've Cobb out. So how far should I move up Allison? And what do we do with Jimmy Graham? I'm not playing Jimmy Graham because Jimmy Graham sucks. But
No, I was
That's me.
shocked that he has 14 targets the last 2 weeks, honestly. Graham.
Yeah,
It just doesn't feel like he ever
because he doesn't
does
do anything.
Yeah.
People are going to be all over him on DK this week.
Yeah, I don't like it.
I get it.
Sure, look, there's a script where they score 35 points, and if they score that many
I'm getting
touchdowns, Jimmy
nervous
Graham
about my
might have
Green Bay
one.
pick now.
Why are you getting nervous? You just
I
said
don't know.
that they were like the lock of the week.
No, I didn't say that. I'm
There's
now
also a
getting
chance
very
Buffalo
nervous.
just flew to the wrong state. They clearly don't know geography very well.
Maybe that works.
Just forfeit.
Maybe Buffalo is like that really stupid person you know who just succeeds at life because they're so oblivious to everything that they just fall upwards. Maybe that's Buffalo.
Interesting.
So they can pull a Homer Simpson?
Exactly. So, okay, so I got to update the rankings. So I have Randall Cobb is out.
Where was Geronimo?
I had Geronimo at 33. That was in between Sammy Watkins and Larry Fitzgerald. I'm bumping down Fitzgerald because guy can barely walk.
Yeah.
I would play Christian Kirk over Larry Fitzgerald this week. So I'm going to make that update. I mean, I kind of had anticipated Cobb being hobbled anyway.
Right.
So I had him down at like 47.
I was going to say, there's not
33 sounds about right.
too much higher you can move Allison. What are the 3 receivers ahead of him right now?
Watkins, Corey Davis, and Chris Hogan. I'd play all those guys over Allison still.
I would consider him over the 2 non-Sammy options. But,
I just
but
worry,
even that's just...
It's not that I worry about Watkins. It's every week with one of these Kansas City guys is going to be left out.
Yeah, not everyone can eat every week.
And so you're always starting Tyreek Hill, so he has to have a top 10 ranking. And then with everyone else, whether it's Conley, whether it's Watkins, whether it's DeAnthony Thomas, whoever it is.
Yeah, but I feel like Sammy likely has the third highest floor if you were to rank the floors of the options.
Sure, but I don't know how big these floors are for any of these guys. I think they're kind of all upside once you get out of the top 2 options.
I just think when your offense is that prolific, every position player has a floor. I would agree that the floor of Hill and Kelsey is far higher than the floor of Sammy, but I would think Sammy's on his own level, and then sort of DeAnthony Thomas and Chris Conley come in after that.
I mean, that's why I have him ranked at number 32. I think he's a wide
fair.
receiver 3
Yeah, I just, again...
who has wide receiver 1 upside, but he has 0 point
Yeah.
upside too.
I think Hogan's fine, especially if we said like Josh Gordon's going to play. That would definitely help Chris Hogan. I mean, for me, Corey Davis is in a similar position as Allen Robinson, and if I kind of have to stay consistent across the board.
I just
here.
really like Allen Robinson this week.
I know, but I just mean in the sense that Corey Davis does have a large target share, but he leads the league in terms of uncatchable targets. Like, only 54% of his passes have been catchable this season. Now, maybe, Tim, how do you pronounce the name of the Titans quarterback?
Blaine Gabbert.
Who's on IR or something, so thanks.
Yeah, I know. I just didn't want to say it, but
I think if Mariota is healthy, and arguably it's a week later, he's healthier, maybe that gets better. He hasn't had the best quarterback play in the world, but again, this is sort of false target shares are kind of coming into play with a couple receivers, and the 2 big guys are Corey Davis and Allen Robinson.
All right, so I'll bump down Corey Davis. Would you play Corey Davis or Geronimo Allison?
I would play Allison.
Tim?
yeah, I would also play Allison.
Chris Godwin or Corey Davis?
Oh, good Lord. I guess I would play Corey Davis.
I think
there.
it's Davis.
All right, so I'll put him 1 spot behind Geronimo Allison then. So then it would go Hogan, Watkins, Allison, Davis in the rankings, followed by Godwin.
Sure.
All right, so we're good with that. I'd play Doug Baldwin over them all.
Yeah, I would too.
Here comes Bitcoin Dougie.
sure.
I mean, you have to.
Yeah, I do have to. This is true.
Whoa!
Yeah, Tim.
Just do a snort of cocaine?
You know, it's early in the morning, Gary.
Get amped.
Tim had a rager last night. He needs
true.
some energy.
I was up pacing all night.
Oh, yes. All night?
Did you really feel... I felt there was no point where I was scared they were going to lose that game.
I was terrified when it was 24-17 and we didn't cash.
Eh.
Well, yeah, you can tune into Tim's
Notre Dame ramblings?
Notre Dame podcast at a later date. So let's take some questions here, just very briefly. Would you go Corey Davis or Larry Fitzgerald? I would go Corey Davis.
Yep.
So, Tim, are you...
One of them can walk.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. We talked about this last week in terms of Larry Fitzgerald, that he was just so banged up that... And that's what I worry about with Alshon. That Alshon's kind of in a Larry Fitzgerald situation where he's active, but he's only active for the sake of being on the field and, like, getting coverage towards him.
Yeah, sure. And like I said, he is the type of guy who can be that thing. I would just say that where we saw Larry get hurt, Alshon, at the very least, hypothetically, has been getting healthy across the last 6 months.
Sure. Yes, this is true. But the matchup would also favor Larry Fitzgerald in
So,
this spot.
fresh legs, I guess.
Fresh, but is it a fresh shoulder? We don't know.
Don't know.
Which one would you play, Tim? Sorry.
I would definitely not play Larry Fitzgerald
So you're striking Larry Fitzgerald from your, like, you would just say bench Larry Fitzgerald basically
this week. Yes, I would.
In the face of like really other options. Here's some more. Would you play Alex Collins or Sony Michel? I play Collins.
Collins, no doubt.
Yeah, Collins.
All right. Would you play Mike Williams or Corey Davis? I would play Mike Williams.
Yeah, Mike.
Oh, Mike Williams.
Travis Benjamin's going to be back for the Chargers this week too, and I don't think that severely impacts Mike Williams, but it's just another guy to throw in.
It's not the best news for Mike Williams, but I just think that offense is far better than what Tennessee brings to the table.
Would you say if Alshon is limited, is Dallas Goedert a good streaming tight end? I like the way that he was used last week.
I think he's a perfectly fine streaming tight end.
I'd rather stream like Rhett Ellison.
That's fair. I think Goddard's a complete upside play. Like he has,
but he's also a complete
the potential
death.
for zero.
Yeah.
Like you have to understand that going in with it. But I think if and you can kind of get a sense of this with your matchup, like. If you need a home run at tight end this week, I would rather play Goddard. I just think the ceiling's so much higher. But yeah, if you just need 4, 5, 6 points, Ellison's fine. He's going to be in a high-scoring game.
So 30 minutes until we get into the actual question and answer period. You can continue to load them up. We're not going to see many of them right now because we're not going to start looking until 11 a.m. unless we just run out of things to talk about, which is usually not true with the three of us.
Yeah.
No, we can just start talking about anything at this point. Like, we can talk about Bitcoin some more, despite the fact that neither one of the three of us know how to actually buy it.
I just remember sitting in traffic because there was that Bitcoin machine right on like the corner of King and Spadina.
Yeah, there's one like right up
Toronto.
there.
But this was like 5 years ago, and I just remember sitting there one day in traffic being like, maybe I'll get one of these Bitcoins, and I didn't.
You really should have.
Should have. Really
If you
should've.
bought it 5 years ago, it's
Yeah.
all upside
Yeah.
from here. So, would you go rest of the season? Here's a question from Sean. Andy Dalton or Josh Allen? I think you have to stick with Andy Dalton there.
Is Josh
Yes.
Allen in all caps?
No, he's not. I just like to
Okay.
say.
Yeah, it's Andy Dalton.
Well, Josh Allen, if he has another good week this week, like I'm going to take him out of my rankings, and he'll get the anti-Mark Ingram rank, like you suggested. He will not be in worst place. He'll be in best place.
Best place?
I'm
Oh.
playing. I only played 10 DK teams this week. I scaled it back.
I think you should buy a jersey. You and Paul should buy tandem jerseys if they win this week.
I mean, I'm not going to buy a jersey. I'm an adult, so why would I wear a football jersey? But
You have
Put it on the set right there.
What Buffalo Bill jersey do you have from 2 years ago?
Each
no,
Manuel.
I gave that to Gabe.
And he accepted
Yes,
it?
but
Yeah,
you
he
bought
was
it for
fu-
yourself.
Why? Because I got it for $20.
Still, like that hat you got for $5.
Exactly. I never wore the hat, and I never wore the jersey. So I had it to
Wore the
have.
jersey, though.
No, I didn't wear the jersey.
I bet,
The
if
pictures.
I bet if Gabe sent
Where's
it
the
to
pictures?
EJ Manuel, he'd sign it.
But please, I'd like to see this photo evidence of me wearing this
It
jersey.
was at that bar that they closed down.
Oh, the Bullocks?
Yeah,
Yeah.
No.
didn't happen.
Pat's never worn a jersey at the Bullocks.
Yeah, please. Give me a break. I'm not you pacing around in my Tim Tebow Jets jersey.
I
Yeah, and pacing back and forth. Any more injury stuff that you're seeing?
haven't seen anything. No.
Do you think that a
mean,
lot
Cobb
of
was the
people
big one.
will now go to Allison because Cobb is out?
I think
Or do
it'll
you
be
more-
popular.
or do you think more people go to Graham because of this?
I think for a lot of people, I think it's a pretty A to B prospect. I think it's wide receiver 2 is out. Wide receiver 3 now becomes wide receiver 2. Also, Allison, it's not as if he hasn't had an impact so far this season. He's made big plays. I think that'll stick with people, prime time especially. No, I think Allison's going to be pretty popular.
All right, well, if we look at totals for the week, the biggest one, the highest scoring projected games, I mean, Steelers-Ravens is super high projected as well, but they're not on the main slate, so it's hard to talk about. We can talk about like season long with them. Or do you have any showdown slate picks for that game?
I don't write about Showdown for Sunday night, but I mean, I just love Juju. I want Juju everywhere.
I would try to play as much Ravens as possible. Like
yeah,
I play,
people are more apt to play Steelers.
yeah,
That is definitely true.
So like I would probably put like Flacco in my captain spot.
yeah, I think that's a good way to go, actually.
Flacco, John Brown.
Well, because
see if you can bring back
the Ravens
Juju.
and the Dolphins are really the two teams where you want to take the approach of just, well, I have no idea who they're throwing to this week, so
No,
maybe
see,
just take
I
the
don't
common
agree with that
denominator.
with Baltimore. They
Well,
throw to
have
John Brown, they throw to
sure.
Crabtree.
Well, they have 2 wide receivers. I just mean more in the sense of like goal line carries, and everyone's always about Mark Andrews. I get that, whatever.
But it could be
They've
Boyle.
got 17 tight ends, so it's tough.
We won't know this until later, so you probably wouldn't want to play him anyway. But Hayden Hurst might make his debut on Sunday night. He's a guy that I would go pick up.
But even like hypothetically, even if he's healthy the rest of the season, what's his role in this offense going to be?
Probably either second or third passing option.
But is he going to play more than 50% of the snaps?
I would imagine. Like, why
it's
go
just
out
so
and get a guy
diverse.
who's super talented and you run out 3 crummy tight ends
They
anyway?
do this every year. They draft 17 tight ends. That's all Ozzie Newsome knows how to do.
Yeah, but at least they spent
I think
some
his draft board is literally just tight ends. There's no other positions.
I'd be willing to. Like I said, I'm not saying go play him this week to go play him next week. It'd be nice to see him do something this week. But if he's going to return from this foot injury, he's going to be healthy. He's the most talented tight end that they have.
I mean, we talk about touchdown upside for tight ends all the time, and while that is kind of the defining factor here, I mean, look at their tight end share so far this season. Nick Boyle has played 56% of snaps. Max Williams has played 46% of snaps. Mark Andrews has played 35% of snaps. I just don't know how someone emerges here playing more than 60% of the snaps. Ever.
You get your best guy back, and then you just play him a lot.
I mean, all of these guys they've invested draft capital in, though. They draft 2 tight. They do this weird bookend tight end thing. I think
like I said, I think he's the most talented one on this team.
Fair.
And then I'd be willing to take a shot at it if you didn't have a tight end.
That's fine. I just feel like with your bench, not to say that he doesn't have upside, I just feel like any upside he possibly has is capped by the fact that he's just never going to be a guy who plays like 70-80% of the snaps.
He might. We don't know. We've never seen him on the field.
My guess would be no.
Okay. If he plays over 60% of the snaps, he might be fine because I don't think they're asking him to block all that much.
That is true.
He's just going to run routes all the time. So at tight end, Charles Clay looks like he's going to play. You don't need to play him. You can play Kroom instead.
Oh, no, not Kroom.
Kroom better than Clay.
Still don't know what a Kroom is.
Yeah, well, he's better than Charles Clay at this point.
That's fair.
Hayden Hurst may or may not play in the Sunday night game. We're not going to know, so just don't worry about it. Jack Doyle, Evan Ingram, Greg Olsen, and Jake Burt, who blew out his ACL, all not playing. Go back to Ebron. You got it, right?
Sure. I mean, he's got 6 red zone targets.
He's
only caught one of them.
I have
but he's got
Ebron
6.
ranked at 4 at tight end.
I mean, look, he's got a snap share. He's got a target share. I have questions about his quarterback's viability, but it's still only a 3-week sample. And also, if Luck can't throw it more than 10 yards down the field,
Good news for Eric Ebron,
benefit
right?
Eric Ebron. Yeah, look, for tight end especially, like I just said, you want to look at volume share not only in the offense, but in the red zone specifically. And he's inside the top 15 receiving options, running backs, tight ends, and wide receivers in terms of red zone targets right now. You can't ask for a lot more from Eric Ebron.
So Tim,
I guess knowing how to catch.
That he don't alligator arm everything. What would you do at tight end here? Like after there's the big 3, and everyone kind of agrees that there's the big 3. Like how would you shuffle these guys up? Like Ebron, Burton, Howard, Njoku, Kittle, Graham, Eifert. Would those be the next one? Like, do you trust Vance McDonald yet after one good game?
No, I think I would take Burton over all of those guys.
I like Burton this week, actually.
I have Burton at 5. Like I really like OJ Howard as well. Like
sure. He's also definitively like, whereas we thought that was going to be more 50-50, even 60-40, like he's dominating the snap count right now.
Well, it's good too because in the Monday night game, which obviously when there's a single game on, you can really focus on that. The people saw that Brate got the touchdown, and they're like, "Oh, it's a split again," or Brate's the guy to play. It's not. No. OJ Howard has over 50 yards in every single one of these games, and I think that he's a nightmare match. He's the only real nightmare matchup for this Chicago defense that Tampa really has. Like that's a just specific advantage where even on the outside they can generate.
They've got good corners. They got good pressure. It's gonna be hard.
That's the thing. They can generate enough pressure to potentially mitigate the impact that Djax, Godwin, and Evans can do down the field. At that point, you're basically just throwing up jump balls to Mike Evans and hoping he comes down with them, which he can. And Fitz will do. But if you're looking for someone who's just open on the field, who's just a mismatch in size and speed with everyone, OJ Howard's the guy.
No, I agree. Usually when the best offense by the numbers plays the best defense prevails, and that would be the case here, and I think that will be the case here.
I don't mind, like, if we're talking about, like, sneaky stacks, like, everyone's on that Atlanta game, everyone's on that Giants game, like I mentioned, I like, Paul is giving me a note that not sure that Cobb has actually been ruled out. Oh, great.
Fake news.
The chat is live. The chat is just full of fake news. Great.
Oh, you got that from the chat?
Yeah. Fantastic. So now I sound like an idiot, and we just wasted 10 minutes. Guys in the chat.
Well, there's still a very real chance that Randall Cobb is ruled out.
Yeah, but I updated my rankings to say that he was out.
Why don't you find out who purveyed the fake news and ban them?
I would, but like there's so many questions in the chat and so much back and forth. I like when people start answering each other's questions and have a discussion. It's great to do for the first hour. Then we can really hammer down on everyone's questions. But if you're putting fake news into the chat, I can't even go back and find it.
That's not how a society works.
So you keep an eye on the Randall Cobb news, and the Sweat at 10.
I would assume that's going to be an 11:30.
Yeah,
but
that'll be 11:30 inactive type play. But the Sweat starts at 11:30 on the DraftKings YouTube channel. You can check that out. Comes on right after us, and it'll be here next week. Although we will not. Remember, smash the like button, people. Need those likes, or we can't keep doing the show. I was going to say every Sunday morning, but we're not doing the show next Sunday morning.
yeah, but every Sunday after that.
Every Sunday after
That's
that.
because we aren't getting enough likes.
What's that? Yeah,
Because we're not getting enough likes.
Exactly.
It's a 1 week penalty.
see, I like the angle that you're playing
This
on
puppy is going to die if you don't like this video.
one.
Oh, don't be that person.
So sneaky stacks. That Bears Bucks game could go sideways offensively real quick.
It could.
Like if Fitz just being like, you know what, I'm going to throw the ball 50 yards down the field every time, and I'm just going to hit on 3 of them.
I mean, look, we saw last week something we already kind of knew, but like they have the capability, the Buccaneers, and Fitz especially, where he can have simultaneously a terrible real life week and a great fantasy week. That is a Ryan Fitzpatrick special. I just really think with the pressure this Bears defense can generate, I'm not saying it's not on the table. I just think that in terms of an overall game stack, I trust so little about the Bears offense with Trubisky just looking the way he has, and I feel like that defense is pretty good. That these Bears games have pretty much played to script so far, where they're going to be like somewhere in the range of like 24-17. I think that's probably what we're looking at here.
I feel like it's either super low scoring or super high scoring. I feel like there's no middle ground for this game. Because if it does stay close and Tampa can't score, I don't see like Chicago going crazy.
No, but
because they'll just get into a situation where they give the ball to Jordan Howard 25 times.
2017, 2016, 21-17, something like that.
I mean, I'm not sold that Chicago's that great.
I don't think they're
No,
great.
they're
I just
not.
think their defense is
Their
pretty
defense
good.
is pretty good, but
Their defense is good.
Yeah.
But you're saying they're going up against what's statistically the number 1 offense.
Yeah.
yes.
But they've also had pretty good matchups.
They have.
I mean, the Eagles game, sure, but if any team's offensive philosophy meshes perfectly to kind of circumvent what the Eagles do best on defense, which is just negate running backs entirely, they've already negated their running backs. So cool. We're already on the same page. I just think that this is the best defense they've seen so far in terms of matching up specifically with what they do well. And like you talked about, that's why I think O.J. Howard is going to have a pretty good game.
All right, so let's cross that game off the sneaky stacks list. Do you have one, Garion? Pats Dolphins? Play Ryan Tannehill and bring it back?
I don't mind it.
With like James White and
I've
Chris
got a lot of
Hogan.
Sony Michel shares. The problem, again, with playing a Dolphin stack, it's not that it's impossible, but it's just about finding the receiver you actually kind of trust. I've started to kind of lean towards Jakeem Grant just because while his snap share isn't large and his volume isn't ridiculous because of that low snap share, and I know Devontae Parker is questionable for this game. I think he plays. It does seem like Gase wants to get Grant the ball like 5 times a game. I don't know if he's going to get it more than that, but at 3.9 with his speed and the way they kind of utilize him, if they're going to definitively give him 5 opportunities to do something, I don't mind him at 3.9. But again, like finding a safety with a Dolphins receiver is just really tough. And Drake would have been the guy, but I don't really trust him either anymore. So
That's fair.
So you can play Tannehill, maybe bring it back with like Sony Michel if you want, but it's just so hard right now to stack the Dolphins. I think you're kind of onto it. I think this Houston-Indianapolis game could get a little wacky.
It's just both teams play so fast.
Yeah.
That there's just a lot of time and a lot of plays that will be run in this game. Like when
And
you
even
look,
the fact that the offensive lines are terrible, like that could play to a high total. Like we could see a lot of like weird field position swaps because of like sack
Exactly.
fumbles. Like there's just weird stuff. That's
just
gonna
scoring
happen in this game.
opportunities. It's sort of like there's 3 games that there's 2 games realistically that I just feel not great about. That there's like 1 or 2 guys from the game that I would want to play, like that Dallas Detroit game.
I'm not really touching that at all.
That feels, and just like the Tennessee Philly game, they just feel like games that like you're gonna look up and like what's the game of the day? The game of the day is probably Cincinnati Atlanta, right?
Sure.
So you're gonna look up. Everyone's gonna be kind of watching that game because there's a lot of fantasy implications with that game. That's like the main game that's on a TV if you're watching like 5 of them, unless you're some sort of weird homer who just watches your home team. That like go fuck yourself. Like we're talking fantasy here. So that game is gonna have like 12 minutes left in the 4th quarter, and those other 2 games might be done.
Yeah.
It just feels like one of those types of games.
I mean, and here's the thing too. Like I think some people might be excited because of Garion Johnson's breakout week. The issue here is, first and foremost, when we talk about game script and just like the perfect game script, Detroit's not going to have a game script that conducive to running the football for the remainder of the season. Like, they possessed the ball 40 minutes against the Patriots. And in that time, Garion Johnson still only got 16 carries. I mean, LeGarrette Blount also got 16 carries. We're talking about a team that's already very apt and willing to pass the football. Consistently, year after year, Cooter's offense is ranked inside the top 5 in pass rate. So, generally speaking, they want to pass the football. In a situation where they had the best game script to run it, Johnson still only got 16 carries. Dallas has been pretty good against the run. I know Sean Lee's not playing, but I don't really factor that in too much here. And then they are one of, I believe, 3 teams through 3 games to not even have a goal line carry. Like, we say that LeGarrette Blount is probably going to be the goal line back. It hasn't really mattered to this point. Like, no one's the goal line back because they don't run the ball inside the 5-yard line. So,
well, this guy just said, why did this show announce that Randall Cobb is out? This is how fake news.
Over that.
This is what fake news is designed to do, to make me look stupid.
I mean, I blame Mark Zuckerberg.
So, Tim, what games would you either be targeting or staying away from here?
Let's take the easier question first, which is what games am I avoiding? Seattle, Arizona, I want nothing to do with it. Houston, Indianapolis, I want nothing to do with it. I don't trust the people in that game. San Francisco and the Chargers, I want nothing to do with it.
Really? You don't want anything to do with Chargers?
Well, no, I'm saying I wouldn't want to stack a Chargers team. That's what I mean by that.
But you can just not use anyone from San Francisco and just use Chargers.
You could, but I don't like. Honestly, I think that's a weird game. I've been thinking about that game, the more I have a gut feeling of that wonkiness is going to be in the works there. I don't know.
I like Melvin Gordon a lot in that game.
Me too.
I think where a lot of people,
fair.
if they figure out how to save the money for Melvin Gordon, they're probably just going to find a way to save the money for Kamara.
Yeah, that's
not that his
fair.
ownership's going to be super low, but I just think he's in a weird. The top of running back and the top of tight end are just very strange this week in terms of the pricing.
So,
like, there's these weird
stacks I like.
tiers.
Kind of off the beach and track. I love a Raiders stack this week. I think they could score a ton of points against a well overrated Browns team. I think it's a perfect spot for them to get them. In terms of tons of points, I think if you wanted to go ahead, do I even want to say it?
Just play
say
all
the
the Jets you want.
Yeah, okay. Well, then I won't.
Oh,
I don't
Powell.
have to.
Oakland and the Jets are where Tim's coming from. Have got teams to stack this week.
Oakland and the Jets. I mean, if you
they're
wanted to
contrarian.
play completely against me, I suppose you could stack Jaguars. I wouldn't recommend it.
I just don't like that game. I think that Fournette's a good tournament play because he's playing, and no one's going to play him because they don't know what his pitch count is going to be. And the Jags D is a good play, and I think that Powell is a good play, and Anun was a good play.
I like Powell. I like Enunwa. I will say with Fournette, I don't love him this week, but it is clear that they have taken the approach if he's not 100%. And that might say something about how much they actually value Leonard Fournette in terms of, obviously he has value. They want him healthy, and they want to keep him healthy. But I think they understand that they don't win and lose games based upon the health of Leonard Fournette, really. So I think if he's playing, he's actually healthy with the way they've handled this.
And I would rather play him than Jordan Howard in that range. Like, everyone's playing Jordan Howard.
Sure.
I'm actually not playing any Jordan
Look,
Howard.
I think they're basically the same guy. So I have, if you're going to tell me one of them has a exceedingly higher ownership than the other, just play the other one.
What do you make of that? So of that top tier, are you getting yourself up to Kamara? Do you find?
I've got a couple
lineup?
shares of Kamara. I've got a couple shares of Gordon. I find myself with a
I'm
lot of
playing
Sony Michel. I've got a lot of David Johnson.
See, I have no David Johnson. I'd rather play Fournette than David Johnson.
That's fair. I just think that where Fournette.
Do you have any Elliott?
No, I don't have any Zeke.
I have Kamara, Gordon, and Barkley, but I have a ton of Kamara. I have half of that on Barkley, and then half of Barkley on Melvin Gordon.
Right.
I would be zeroing in on Bernard. I think there's value on him.
Well, he's got 70%
Well,
Bernard too.
no shit, Tim. He's going to be 90% owned.
Yeah, and he should be.
Yeah,
He's gonna,
no, I agree.
I think he'll be the number one back in fantasy this week.
I mean, there's a script.
I certainly hope so.
There's
That'd be
definitely a
good
script.
news for Pat and everyone else.
Well, the nice thing, too, is Gio, I mean, if you have Andy Dalton, you don't really trust A.J. Green. You can stack Gio and Andy Dalton together.
Okay, who's a better tournament play then? If you're just looking for upside in a lineup, because when we talk about tournament plays,
That's why I think David Johnson's a great tournament play. I don't think anyone trusts him anymore.
no one trusts him anymore. But are people going out of their way to play AJ Green?
I think
I'd rather play
people
AJ
are.
Green than play David Johnson.
I mean, there's a $900 price differential there, but
if you're going to pivot, you pivot at the top end.
yeah, but I think enough people are still playing AJ Green. I mean, enough people are playing Andy Dalton, where just you're going to work your way backwards and find that stack.
Yeah,
it's such an obvious stack.
I have a feeling people are just going to downgrade. Like, if people are going to play that game, they'll play Boyd with Dalton, and then they'll play Calvin Ridley and save all the money.
I think they're playing AJ Green.
Really?
I mean, there's going to be a few people out there who play a Boyd. I've got a Boyd lineup, but it also has AJ Green in it. Like, I'm fine with playing AJ. I think he's going to have like a 10 to 12% ownership share, which is not the peak AJ Green ownership level. But I think with enough people playing Dalton, it's just such a natural stack. I don't know how many people are not playing Dalton and playing Green. Like, if you want to play Green on an island, that's fine.
That's interesting.
But I think if you have Dalton in there, I mean, it's almost like muscle memory at this point. Like, we've been doing this for 7 years almost. Like, when you have Dalton in a lineup, you just put AJ Green in that lineup. It's where I don't think anyone's playing David Johnson, and I'm fine with Johnson this week. Like, everyone's so focused on the fact that he got pulled on that last series for that weird pass blocking thing.
That's
He
because
played
they're morons.
86% of the snaps.
The thing is, like, what's his upside at this point?
I think, look, I'm not gonna sit here and say like Josh Rosen's the next coming of Dan Marino, but like I think it's a higher upside certainly with Rosen than it was Sam Bradford. If you were sitting after week 2, if you were sitting there saying what is the formula that still creates upside for David Johnson, number 1 on that list was Sam Bradford no longer being the quarterback of the Arizona Cardinals, and that's happened. Seattle's run defense is giving up 5.4 yards per carry. I mean Zeke gashed him last week. Zeke is great, but that offensive line's not that good. I feel like I can just see the highlights this week being like, David Johnson finally has his game. 2 touchdowns. Like, he might even only rush for 80 yards, but I think he's going to be more involved in the passing game. I think he gets into the end zone this week. And like I said, no one's on him.
All right, let's talk about some of these like coin flip situations at tight end, or at running back, sorry, that you might go. Matt Breida is just a very polarizing player this week. It looks like he is going to play. He's not off like might be like the last second sit. So if you have a chance to move into your flex or just have another running back option available, Alfred Morris could open up a ton of value if Breida sits.
Yeah.
Then that's a guy that I would play in that
Yes.
Chargers game from the San Francisco
I think
side.
if someone's definitively out, sure. I think if Breida plays, I'm not really on Breida.
I have him at number 20 in the rankings.
I understand it. Like, I understand the target share stuff. I think it was like 35% of the Bethard targets go to running backs.
Yeah,
I get it.
Even Paul brought this up, and I think we talked about this with Jake. Like, why is everyone so convinced Matt Breida is such a great pass catcher? What have we ever seen from him in the receiving game that would point to him being a good receiver?
I think it's one of those situations where
he's better than Morris, so he's clearly the guy.
It's juxtaposition. He can catch better than Morris, so I guess he's the guy. I think he probably, if he plays, gets somewhere in the range of like 4 to 5 targets as a base, which is nice. But we're talking about an offense that has an exceedingly low implied team total. Like, none of these targets could be high leverage. Like, there's a chance he finishes this game with like 11 carries for 35 yards, 5 catches for 21 yards, and they don't even sniff the red zone. Like,
I think
it's just not enough.
I mean, you need him to break big ones for DraftKings because he's so expensive. That's why I would kind of like Morris.
And that's the thing, too. He's almost $6,000 now.
Yeah. So, Tim, would you play Phillip Lindsay or Matt Breida?
Lindsay.
I'd play Lindsay as well. Would you play Powell or Matt Breida?
In season long or DK?
Season long. I'd play Powell.
I would play
I think
Powell.
I'd play Breida in season long.
Would you play Chris Carson or Matt Breida?
Carson.
I think I'm with you on that. I have Breida ranked 1 spot above. I'm going to go change that. I'm going to flip those around, put Chris Carson above. Would you play Chris Carson or Lindsay? I think I'd still play Lindsay. I want guys in that game. That game's gonna be
I
a
agree
race.
with you there.
That's fine. I would play Carson, but that's fine.
Okay. Who are the other ones in this range? Where would you put Sony Michel in that range, who I have misspelled in my rankings? Perfect.
Behind Freeman.
I know. I would definitely play Sony Michel above Royce Freeman.
Yeah.
No.
I
don't
would
like
I would
Michelle
say
to
he's
speak for.
behind Carson because they're essentially the same guy. They're just volume, low efficiency
Would you play
players.
Carson or Eckler?
Eckler. Definitely Eckler.
I would play Eckler,
Eckler,
too.
yeah. Yeah, because he's not going to get 30 carries, like you said. But I still think he gets 20 touches.
Like,
But Eckler can do more with 12.
Okay, how about this? Sony Michel or Derrick Henry?
Sony Michel.
Henry.
Jay Ajayi or Sony Michel?
Ajayi.
I would go Sony Michel over that.
You really like Sony Michel.
Yeah, I think it's a really good script for him.
Aaron Jones or Sony Michel? What do you mean it's a really good script? The Dolphins are definitely beating the Patriots.
They have no chance.
I don't think it's
See, people like Tim still exist.
fair. Look, I think it's a close game.
We were 1 week away from the actual Patriot. There's fake Patriots meltdown right now. Because people
I get
still
it.
expect them to be
Look,
really good. They lose to the Dolphins, everyone's going to
actual
write them
meltdown.
off. Then they'll make their
I get
comeback.
it. They've never been 1-3. Blah 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 blah. I think that even if the Dolphins win this game, I think it's a close game.
Would
Like,
you
I don't
play,
think the
would you play
Dolphins pull up
Drake
by
or
3.
Sony Michel? I play Drake.
Drake, yeah.
I had views from the 6-point touchdown for me.
But again, I look at what Michelle
Such a
brought to the
great
table last week. Unless he completely burned that bridge, which he might have. But when he was on the field, he got a touch. And you'd have to think that where the Patriots average roughly like 60 to 65 plays per game,
Not last week.
especially, and the Dolphins just never seem to possess the ball.
That is true, because they score 70-yard touchdowns every time they
Yeah.
have the ball.
I just think he gets 20 touches this week. I don't know if he does anything with them, but at this range, like if we're talking him versus Aaron Jones, like if you asked me who is definitely more likely to touch the ball 20 times, it's Michelle 100 times out of 100.
You do make a very good point on that. Maybe I should move him above Aaron Jones. I really don't like Sony Michel.
It's fine. He might suck. He might be really
shouldn't.
bad, but we talk about this all the time. As soon as you get past RB2, like guys who suck but just have volume have to be RB3s, and generally high-end RB3s.
Naheem Hines? I'm using him.
Sure.
I use him in a DK line. He's $3,600.
I wouldn't use him anywhere but DK, yeah.
No, I mean if you have no running backs
be
in a
real desperate,
in a
yeah.
PPR league.
Sure.
He played 71% of the snaps last week. Marlon Mack is not playing. This is a game where we expect a lot
That
of
means at some point we will have a return of the Mac.
How about this? Go pick up Robert Turbin for next week, who might be their running back that they lean on. I've already done
true.
it in most of my leagues. I have no idea if it's going to work or not, but it's a situation where he's free.
Yeah.
You might as well get him right now.
There's no problem with that.
Go
play,
pick him
yeah.
up before the game so you don't have to wait until waivers. He's available right now.
I like it. I don't mind it.
Tim, if you had to start a Colts running back, who would it be?
Oh my goodness. Ugh. I don't even know. I'm so disinclined to start any of them. I don't even know where to begin. Pass.
That's helpful.
Pass.
I mean, it's not the wrong philosophy.
No, it's not. I 2 of the 3 games, Hines has been a usable.
Sure.
Fine. Let's
I think
go
you're right, at
Hines then.
times.
If I'm forced, let's go him.
Okay.
I mean,
So-
Wilkins just
don't like
hasn't
it.
done anything.
Before we get out of here for the iTunes crowd, the audios that are listening, any update on what's going on with Randall Cobb potentially?
No, I really think that's going to be an 11:30 one. There's not a whole lot of news we're waiting for aside from that. But no.
Yeah,
Packers are
he's
playing
kind of the
pretty tight
guy.
lips.
I got fake newsed already. That's no good.
Jacob Hollister isn't playing because he took a hard fall.
Oh, that's not
Life
good.
alert. I've
He has
fallen
the-
and I can't
he
get
has
up.
the bracelet.
You know who's going to take a hard fall many times today? Blake Bortles.
What do you predict the score? How much do the Jets win by, according to you, Tim?
I picked on the show 31-17. I stand by that claim.
How many picks is Darnold gonna throw?
I don't believe he
At
throws
least
any.
one. Do you have another active bet that he doesn't throw an interception in his first 10 passes of the game?
Not yet.
Have you made that bet with our friend every single week?
No, I didn't make it last week, and he would have won the bet for me last week.
So both times that you have bet that
Yes.
it wouldn't happen, it has happened.
Yes.
Maybe don't do it then.
At the moment, I'm not planning to. But
You just said yet, as if you were planning to.
yeah, like, I don't have it yet. It could happen. I'm not planning to. I just think the Jets are a good play this week. You'll see.
Oh, did Poulter
You know-
come back and beat Dustin Johnson?
Yes, or at least he's one up with one to go.
There you go.
This thing's over.
It's over?
Well, it
no.
is. I mean, Europe needs.
Let me check
point,
Twitter to make
and
sure.
Europe needs a point, and there's a 3 up and a 5 up on the board. Like,
Well, here's the thing. Is Molinari still beating Phil?
yeah, by 3.
Okay, so basically every single prediction I made for the Ryder Cup happened, except for Bryson being top American. But I had Molinari top Euro to smash the U.S. and walk away with the win. And after everyone was on the U.S., Tim said it would be over by Saturday for the U.S. So,
Were they favored?
oh yeah, giant.
Really?
favorites. Yeah,
They have
was the last time they won in
significantly
Europe?
better players than Europe.
they haven't won in Europe since like the early '90s.
That's crazy.
But yeah, the U.S. was gonna storm them. So I worry about how accurate and how good any of my picks for football are going to be, or it's just a Mayo week
Could be a Mayo week.
and just everything's going to
Well,
break
we got
Pat's way.
like a 6-team parlay, or you got a 10-team parlay that I would love to hit. So,
No,
oh, that's true. Well, you got 10 games you're
no,
invested in
no.
emotionally.
Yeah, I'm invested in emotionally.
Yep.
For that. Yep. So yeah, let's get out of here for the audio feed, and we'll get to everyone's questions. Smash the like button on the way out if you're on the audio feed. Leave a nice review for us, and let's jump into this.
There we go. Questions.
Question up first. Luck or Baker Mayfield this week? I would play
Luck.
Andrew Luck.
Yeah, just play Luck.
I would play Luck.
Here's a question from Pat. Would you play Josh Allen or Baker Mayfield this week? I would play Josh Allen.
No doubt.
No doubt.
No doubt. I don't think.
Wait, no doubt on what side?
Quarterbacks who make their first start on the road have terrible numbers, and to go into a hothouse environment of Oakland,
Going to play the worst team in the league.
The Raiders are not that bad of a team. They could easily be 2-1. Probably should be 2-1. They're not a bad team.
Well, if they played a
their
script,
record
Baker
is
Mayfield
not-
will outscore Josh Allen in just the fourth quarter alone.
I think Baker gets ripped apart, and those arrogant Browns get ripped apart.
Tim is so butthurt by Baker coming in and
know.
beating the Jets.
It was his greatest fear. How upset were you when Tyrod went down and was holding his head?
I was terrified. The only thing that couldn't happen is that he could get hurt. We couldn't lose if he stayed in the game.
Couldn't lose.
All right, people are asking about trade questions, which is a Monday sort of thing. Breda or Kenny Stills as a flex in PPR? I play Breda.
Breda.
Yeah, agreed.
Dion Lewis or Chris Carson? I would play Lewis. I'd play Carson in a standard, though. But I mainly talk about PPR scoring.
That's fair. Although he's run significantly fewer routes the last 2 weeks.
Well, they just don't run a lot of plays.
That's true.
Dalton or Russell Wilson? I think I'd play Dalton.
Yeah, it's Dalton.
Oh, Dalton's going to have a big day.
I don't know about that. Allen Robinson, Kareem Hunt, or Carlos Hyde? I think it's Carlos Hyde.
Robinson.
It's definitely not Robinson.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's
Of the
between
two,
Hunt
it's
and
between
Hyde.
the running backs.
I am so, you need Hunt to score touchdowns.
Yeah, I know, and he's just not involved in the passing game at all. It's terrifying. But not to say that last week's script isn't completely viable every single week. He might just get a bunch of
the
red
Chiefs
zone
are going to score
carries.
50 points every week, so he's going to have a chance.
But Hyde is, he just gets, Hyde is, there are only 7 running backs who have 100% of their team's total carries inside the 5-yard line. He's one of the 7. The other 6 have 1 carry. He's got 6. He is their goal line back. There's no question.
Sit 1. Calvin Ridley, John Brown, or Doug Baldwin? I would sit Ridley.
Yeah, I think it's Ridley.
Yeah, I would sit Ridley as well.
I don't like that all 3 of us are confident that Baldwin's going to be good. This just reeks of 0 points.
I mean, it's possible. I just feel like when the option is him and Calvin Ridley, I don't know. We saw what Ridley's
Team Europe
ceiling
is
is.
one
I just
that-
don't think it's going to happen.
Oh, Molinari beats Phil to win
Yes,
the Ryder
Mark.
Cup and clinch top Euro. Yeah. It's great news for Pat. Fantastic
Congratulations.
news.
You were right.
I was
wrong.
but we got fist pumps from behind the camera here. Can't wait for
Good
everyone.
work.
If you did well because you picked Europe as well or picked Molinari, give the episode a like. Smash the like button
Congratulations.
because we want to.
U.S. will crush them in 2 years, but
That's fine, Tim. Nice prediction on the U.S. Thank you for
I was
cursing.
wrong.
Thank you for cursing the U.S. Christian Kirk in the Bears defense or Enunwa in the Bills defense? I'd go Kirk in the Bears D in that sense. If you want to play Enunwa in the Colts defense, I like that more.
Yeah, why would you? I don't know why you'd want to play the Bills defense.
They're super contrarian.
I mean, look, there's a philosophy here that Rodgers just hurt, but even still.
a philosophy? He is hurt. That's an objective fact on the ground.
No, you have to ponder it for a moment.
He's hopping around on one leg. I know.
Carryon Johnson or Kenny Golladay? I think it's Golladay for sure.
Yeah, I think so too.
John Brown, Mike Williams, or Antonio Callaway? I would play John Brown.
John Brown, yeah.
Mike Williams.
Big Mike. Bortles or Tannehill? I'd play Tannehill.
Tannehill.
Oh, God. 2 quarterbacks that could have negatives. I guess I'll take Tannehill.
How do you I just want to know how you keep track of all these contrasting narratives in your head. You are so anti-Patriot, but you're 100% in on the Patriots this week.
Yes, because I'm tired of being wrong and wanting that. I expect.
You just don't
I-
want
I-
Miami to win because if Miami
No.
wins, they clear the Jets also by 3.5 games possibly, and you can't handle that.
No, when I close my eyes, I see Sunday Night Football in America, them talking about how the Patriots got it right with Rodney and Tony chatting it up about everyone doubted these Patriots, but they found a way. I just know it's going to happen. There's no doubt in my mind. I don't want it to happen, but I think it is going to.
Look,
The Dolphins are frauds.
I'll say this for Tannehill, and this doesn't mean they're going to win the game, But if you look at the way they run routes and the types of things they try to do with their team speed, that is very, very susceptible. Or that defense in New England is very susceptible to just speed. Like their linebacking core is horrifically slow.
I am playing Albert Wilson in fantasy this week, and I think, despite the people who
in like a 17-man league, what?
I mean, listen, Albert Wilson's actually a pretty good player.
I like Albert Wilson, but again, there's just no volume share in Miami.
No, I think Albert Wilson. If there was a Dolphins receiver I had to play today, it would be him. For what you just said, the speed factor.
But like he and Jakeem Grant are essentially twins. Like it's
Yeah,
just so
except I
hard
think
to
they
pinpoint who's going to be.
Like Wilson better. It's clear, I think.
Fair. Like he's probably the better player.
All right. John Brown or Sammy Watkins? Half-point PPR. John Brown for me.
Watkins.
I think I would go Watkins. Yeah.
For the reasons you said earlier.
Ryan Fitzpatrick, Eli Manning, or Baker Mayfield? I play the Fitzpatrick. I just keep rolling it until he stops throwing for 400 yards. Because I don't think the other guys are like. People are really big on Eli this week.
I know.
Yeah, I kind of like Eli here.
I like Eli, but yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go Eli.
Need 2 for PPR. Jordy Nelson, Alex Collins, and James White. I play the running backs.
Yep, I agree.
This is like asking it. I mean, it's going to be Nelson and White for me. This is like a perfect question for me.
Okay, pick 2. Allen, Cobb, or Lockett. We still don't have the Cobb news. I play Lockett and Allen.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think even
agreed.
if Cobb plays, I mean, I don't love Allen Robinson this week, but I was avoiding Randall Cobb too. I think that's fine.
Oh, Allison or Corey Davis. We just went through this.
Yeah,
It's
Allison.
it's Geronimo Allison now. Even
Yes.
if Cobb plays.
Yeah.
Doug Baldwin or Crowell. I would play Baldwin.
Yeah. I like Crowell this week, though. But yeah, it's Baldwin.
Tell me, which Jets players do you not like?
Robbie Anderson.
Is it
That's
'cause
fair, actually.
Because he's starting on your fantasy team? You're trying to
He's not starting this week.
Oh, that's probably good news
Bench
for Robbie.
Albert Wilson.
You bench Robbie. I mean, I probably would too because Robbie Anderson reeks. But this is a good sign for Robbie Anderson. Tim said he's the one Jet not to play, and Tim benched him in fantasy. That is the making of a reverse curse right there.
Yeah, I think Powell's the running back you want to have with the Jets. So
This guy says, Billy says he needs to hear some cuss on Quincy Enunwa.
Quincy Enunwa is what people think Julian Edelman will be, and that he's going to be a really good slot receiver.
Oh, this guy. Oh, did Phil put it in the water on 18?
Yeah, he rinsed it.
Sounds like Phil.
What a fucking.
It wasn't 18,
What a
though.
loser.
It wasn't 18.
Marvin Jones or Mike Williams in half point?
Jones.
I think I would play Williams there.
Close, though. I like both.
yeah, it's super close.
You're the
which is
tiebreaker.
sad. I think I'd play Jones still.
All right, so Marv is the answer. Flacco or Dalton? I play Dalton.
Dalton.
I do like Flacco. Though.
Dalton, yeah.
Flacco's
Landry or Boyd? I would play Landry.
Landry.
Boyd or Cole? Cole's hole. I play Boyd.
Yeah, I would too.
Boyd. Cole's getting shut down.
Goodwin or Brown? I would play Brown. I don't think anyone's playing Murphy.
Yes, I would play Antonio Brown.
No, I believe it's John. I believe it's John.
I
Brown.
know.
I think.
Fitzpatrick or Luck? I'd play the Fitzmagic.
Yeah, I would in that spot.
Luck.
Luck. Eckler or Royce Freeman in
Eckler.
standard?
Eckler.
In standard.
Eckler still.
All right, so Eckler it is. Ridley or Stills? I would play Ridley.
Ugh.
I think I would play Stills.
Yeah,
here.
it is-
I don't
it is
love
still
it,
Ridley.
but I would play Stills.
Okay.
Yeah, it is still Ridley.
PPR start 2. John Brown, Kenny Stills, or Tyler Boyd? I would play Brown and Boyd.
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree.
Pat, you're the best. Oh, you're the best, Howard. Thanks for tuning in.
I think someone picked Europe.
Long time. Yeah, he knows how to get his he knows how to get his question answered. How about Jerserick this week?
We talked about this on Tuesday. I was really trying to figure out a way to like Kyle Jerzerick this week. You just can't do it. Like for the same reason I talked about.
What's the upside?
Yeah, it's the best case scenario is like, I guess the best case scenario is like 7 catches and he breaks one for like a 70-yard touchdown. But the likelihood of that is super small. The most likely scenario is like 3 catches, no carries, 21 yards. Like again, San Francisco's just, how many touchdowns do you think San Francisco actually scores in this game? 1? Maybe 2?
Maybe. The Chargers D has not been great without Bosa.
That's fair. That's 100% fair.
Although
Yeah, I think one.
CJ
but
Beathard is
his
the
name
special
is
teams could give one up.
Beathard.
no,
I
his
know.
name is CJ Guilty Beathard. Or Danger Beathard.
Oh.
Which is, when you're sitting there and you just yell for someone to come and then, you got to go quickly and then get everything cleaned up. So you got to danger beat hard. But
Good.
Jeff Feinberg who's away this week. He's actually going to the Chargers game today.
Oh, is he?
He has quoted that it'll be over by Saturday night. Quote from Tim: might get a 2018 Custies nomination.
That's fair, I think.
There's like no material for that so-called show this year.
I mean, poor Jimmy Garoppolo's knee would beg to differ.
Also, the Mets.
Yeah,
the Mets 2018 season
the Mets Giants NL pennant.
Well,
God.
DeGrom is going to be the National League MVP, and he played great.
Yeah, fantastic. Thanks for that, Tips.
You know what? I was going to be off them next year, but I'm starting to think that they might actually be good next season.
Poor Mets fans. Amari Cooper or Mike Williams? I play Mike Williams.
Yeah, I play Mike
Coop.
Williams too.
Coop? Josh
I love
Gordon?
the Raiders.
Josh Gordon or Quincy Enunwa?
Oh,
I would play Enunwa.
Enunwa, 100%.
Quincy. Yeah.
Is Keenan Allen healthy? He's supposed to.
I mean,
Ask his
I
doctor.
haven't talked to him this morning.
Yeah, he's
but,
supposed to play. So
yeah.
there we go. Tevin Coleman or Matt Breida? I think that's Coleman's not close.
Coleman, yep.
Yeah.
Wentz or Fitzpatrick? Standards.
Wentz.
The old quarterback standard league.
Yeah, I mean, I had Wentz projected to catch
Look,
9
unless,
passes.
unless you have
so
Marcus Mariota, it doesn't matter if
or
your
any
quarterback
tight end.
league is-
Blaine Gabbert has a catch this year.
It's true.
I'd play
quarterbacks.
Fitzpatrick over Wentz.
I would too.
Allison or Corey Davis? Allison.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kenyon Drake or James White? If it's PPR, I would
think
play
it's
White.
Yeah.
It's White.
In a standard league, it might still be White.
In a standard, it's probably Drake, but it's close. And if it's close in a standard, you know in a PPR, it's White.
Yeah. Start 2. Mike Williams, Sammy Watkins, John Brown, and Ridley. It'd be Williams and Brown for me.
I would go Watkins and Brown.
Watkins and Ridley,
Oh.
I guess.
Oh, if
Where
I
do you have Calvin Ridley? I feel like you have him as like a top 30 wide receiver this week.
Like 30, 31, 32, right around there.
Okay. Pick 2. Chris Carson, Royce Freeman, Buck Allen, and Aaron Jones. I would play Carson and Jones.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go.
Carson and Freeman.
Okay. Stafford or Dalton? I would play Dalton.
Yeah, Dalton.
Yeah, Dalton.
Riddick or Hines in PPR? I would play Hines.
Riddick.
I think it's Hines. I mean,
Wow.
Dallas is pretty stout on D.
Riddick's
And
good.
you doubt that they get up by like 20, which you would need
And
for
also-
Riddick to start having
yeah, and-
viability in that game.
Where Riddick too, the last couple of seasons, like it's been very easy for him to get snaps because what other traditional running back are you playing? They have 2 fine traditional running backs now.
Wendell Smallwood or TJ Yeldon in standard? I would
Smallwood.
just say.
Look, it's Smallwood,
I
but
would say it's just sad.
that's a bad
That's
a bad
sad.
spot.
Oh, that's rough. Ridley, Allison, or Josh Gordon? Allison for
Allison.
me.
Allison.
Okay, let's see. Mike Williams, Kenny Stills, or Sterling Shepard? In that spot, I would play Sterling Shepard.
Yeah, I would.
Shepard.
James White or Gio? I think I would play Gio.
Yeah.
Yes, even
I think
there
I
I
would
would
Gio
play
there.
Gio.
PPR, Keelan Cole or Enunwa?
Enunwa.
That's super close,
Enunwa.
but I would play Enunwa. I think Keelan Cole's a fine play this week.
He's fine, sure. I just
Meh.
T.Y. Hilton or Jarvis Landry on DK?
Hilton.
That's so close.
I would probably lean Jarvis. I know Hilton, you're saving $500, but look, I mean, he still had the target share. Granted, I just want to see 1 week from Luck where he completes, where his average yards per attempt are above 5. That'd just be nice.
All right. This guy's saying it's a pivot week. Stay away from the chalk. That's interesting because if you want to construct a lineup where you paid up at wide receiver and found like 2 running backs you didn't mind from either the mid tier or low tier,
Like David Johnson.
no.
Like Marshawn Lynch.
That would be paying up at running back.
He's 6'6". For David Johnson, that's not paying up. No, I like Lynch a lot, actually. I don't mind playing Lynch Hyde.
You could play like Lynch, Hyde, Chris Carson or something
Yeah.
like that and then just pay up for all your receivers.
Sure, I've got a Michael Thomas, Odell Beckham lineup I kind of like.
Yeah, I mean that will be a contrarian play this week, doing your build that way. Let's see here. It skipped on me again, so I'm trying to catch up. Lindsey or White PPR?
White.
Lindsey.
White.
I like Philip Lindsay in that game.
What if he can't control his anger again?
That's true. He goes full rage. He goes Hulk mode. Where do I have? Do I have? You know what? I will go James White. I have James White ranked 1 spot higher, so I will go James White. That's super close to me. This guy says, golf and baseball, what the fuck? I'm going to ban this guy. At least put him on a timeout. He can go fuck himself. I'll talk about what I want. You don't tune into the Pat Mayo experience and not listen to what Pat Mayo wants to talk about. George Kittle me Timbers! or Vance McDonald. I think I'd still play Kittle.
It's still Kittle.
Yes, Kittle.
They're both not great plays.
No.
And I have one of them inside my top 10 in tight
But at
end.
least we know if a San Francisco tight end has a big week, it's going to be Kittle.
Not Selleck?
Probably not Selleck.
Tom Brady or Sam Darnold, Tim?
Tom Brady, not close.
Okay, good. I have Sam Darnold ranked last of any quarterback this week.
I think that's silly, but anyway.
Why is that? Please explain to me why that would be silly.
Because there are
CJ
worse
Beathard
options out there.
exists.
Yeah, C.J. Beathard might get a ton of garbage time here.
Yeah, exactly.
That is true. He also might
obvi-
run for like 70 yards.
Beathard's a worse
He's a
option.
poor
Mayfield's
man's
a
Blake
worse
Bortles.
option.
Sam Darnold doesn't get credit for pick sixes. Those don't count as-
Prescott's a worse option.
All right, this guy says he needs help. Sammy Watkins, Doug Baldwin, Matt Breida, Marvin Jones. Pick 2. I'd go Baldwin and Marvin Jones.
Ooh,
Baldwin
that's
and
interesting.
Watkins.
I think I'd go Watkins and Baldwin.
This guy says, Mickelson, loser. He has achieved more than you. That's just...
Okay, I mean
that's sharp analysis right there.
I mean that's true of almost any conversation you have.
Yeah, we're also talking about don't play this NFL player. They're doing pretty well as
I
well.
understand why people get so offended at 11 in the morning watching a YouTube stream.
Because they're triggered. People only tune into
Every
this
week,
to be
it's
triggered.
people who come in every week who say, "I hate your show. I watch it every week." I don't understand you people.
Let's see. Mahomes or Breeze? I think you just play Mahomes until Mahomes doesn't Mahomes anymore. I have them 1 and 2 in the rankings.
Yeah, what a spot to have.
I mean, I'm redshirting Mahomes, but otherwise, you should be playing him.
You should trade me Robbie Anderson back, and then I'll trade you Robbie Anderson for Mahomes. How about that?
No, I will be redshirting Mahomes.
Can I pick up Terrell Pryor and trade him to you for Mahomes?
I don't
think
know
someone
the
owns
Pryor's going to
Pryor.
have a team much
Damn
longer.
it. Is it Tim?
He might.
Pick 2. Alex Collins, Buck Allen, Derrick Henry, Tariq Cohen, or Corey Clement.
Oh boy, Cohen and Allen.
I would pick Collins and Henry.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Ooh.
Keep an eye on those inactives, by the way.
Yeah, there's nothing yet.
Oh, would you play Hopkins or Fuller? I'd still play Hopkins, but I think they're both good plays.
Yeah, they're perfectly fine.
Josh,
I mean, Pierre Desir has actually had a sneaky good season so far, but I'm not too worried about
sounds
that.
way too French.
Pierre Desir?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pierre Desir. He's probably too fired up from the Ryder Cup this morning. Won't even play. Josh Gordon or Keelan Cole? It's Keelan Cole. Tim?
Cole,
Realistically, like, what's your Josh Gordon snap count prediction?
like 5.
20?
I was gonna say 25% of the snaps.
Yeah, okay.
Still
But
play.
I don't think that many. I think there's still a decent chance he doesn't even play.
I mean, that's on the table.
It's-
Unfortunately, we'll know by
again
inactive
in
time.
15 minutes we'll know. But I think he's active. I think he probably plays like 30% of the snaps. Yeah.
Okay, need some help. Pick 2, please. Lockett, Hogan, Godwin, or a Murray. Hogan and Godwin for me.
Yeah.
Hogan and Cooper.
Okay, Davis or Goodwin? Davis.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Goodwin.
Really?
You can't play C.J. Beathard because he sucks. Play Marquise Goodwin.
No, but there's going to be garbage time in that game, right?
Golden Tate's gonna play. I know that wasn't really up in the air, but there's a Golden Tate right now.
Oh, Jesus,
Ugh.
Tim. You might want to cut down on the SIGs this early in the morning. Big Ben or Baker Mayfield? I'd take Ben in that
Yeah,
spot.
Big Ben.
Big Ben.
Chances Drew Brees does better than Goff? Probably not. Goff's probably your
Yes.
highest. Goff's probably
tough.
your highest scoring guy of the week.
Yeah, I wouldn't take Goff out of any of the lineups I have already this week.
The locked-in Goff 40
Ah!
points. I mean, there's a chance. It's just very
Sure.
unlikely.
I mean, Goff will be the highest scoring, and Mayfield will definitely be the lowest scoring. That's just the way it's going to work this week.
Wentz or Fitzpatrick? I'd play Fitzpatrick. I think we did that one already.
I'm playing Wentz.
Watson or Wilson? Watson for me.
Yep.
No, Wilson.
Okay. Tim just overlooking the fact that Deshaun Watson's been a very good fantasy quarterback so far.
Yeah, but I like Russell Wilson better. And so do you.
Wilson's been fine.
He's your best.
Okay.
He's number one quarterback
He
for the
hasn't-
season. You like
he-
Wilson better.
He hasn't been as bad as you would assume someone in his position would have.
True,
been
but
at this
Watson's
point.
been good.
Sure. Russell Wilson's going to have a real good streak this season of finishing as QB9 every week.
No.
Unfortunately, that's just not
Wilson's going to
enough.
do what he almost does every year. Like starting in like week 7, he'll just be QB1 for 6
That's
straight
true. He
weeks.
loves a good second half.
Yeah, he loves having a bad start and then boom, midway through the season, Russell Wilson explodes.
Well, hopefully Doug Baldwin's healthy by then.
Lockett or John Brown? John Brown.
Yep, John Brown.
Yeah.
That's not particularly close for me.
Josh Gordon or Sterling Shepard? Shepard, that I don't think that's
Shepard.
close.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tim, how is it that you choose to root for the inferior New York sports teams?
I don't know what kind of question that is, other than Why don't you worry about who you cheer for, and I'll worry about who I cheer for.
And then, why are you surprised that you're suffering all the time?
And I also don't cheer for the Mets. I'm not a Mets fan. Like, I don't have a baseball team. My baseball team was ripped away from me. I just
Too
think
cursed. Expos, too cursed.
I just think that Mets pitching staff next season, if they get right, they're better than
Can
the
you
Mets.
at least give them an off season with optimism? You've just
I
ruined their
think that they go
chances
spend
3
some
straight
money.
years.
But go spend a little money, get a hitter or two. I think they could be the best team.
Oh, yeah. They've been great at signing free agent hitters. Let's go get another version of Jay Bruce.
Garion Johnson or Aaron Jones? Aaron Jones for me.
Yeah, I think it's Aaron Jones.
No, I'll take Johnson.
Okay, Garion Johnson or Philip Lindsay? I'll take Philip Lindsay.
There, I'll take Lindsay.
Do you think Aaron Jones will get banned from Twitter like Alex Jones? And if he doesn't score a touchdown, he'll say he scored a touchdown?
That would be a great way to go.
He's the Alex Jones
I'm
of
waiting for the
fantasy.
fake
A.
news.
Jones.
Yeah, the fake news football player.
PPR, Fuller or Hopkins? Hopkins.
Hopkins, yeah.
Yeah, Hopkins still.
Carson or Collin in standard? I guess we decided on Chris Carson.
Yep.
Against Alex Collins?
Yeah.
Yeah, Carson.
Baldwin or Mike Williams or Fuller? It's Fuller.
Fuller, yeah.
It's Fuller. I would play... no, I think I'd still play Mike Williams over Doug Baldwin. Mike Williams has been good.
No, I'm
Yeah,
playing Baldwin.
that's about a good place to draw a line in the sand, I think.
Lockett or Breida?
Breida.
Breida.
Baldwin or Stills? Baldwin.
Baldwin.
I'm kind of with you on this Miami thing. I'm just not playing Miami receivers.
Look, and the crappy thing is, there is going to be one who has a great week.
Oh, absolutely.
There's no fucking way to know.
Exactly. Start 2.
Language.
Callaway, Alshon, Boyd, Gordon, and Tim, go fuck yourself. I'll play Boyd and
Who was the first guy?
Callaway. I'll play Boyd and Callaway. I'll sit Gordon and Alshon. I'll wait the week.
Oh,
on
Alshon.
that.
Yeah.
I'm
I
definitely
just think
playing Alshon, and I guess I'll play Boyd.
There's
So
just too
like
much
that.
uncertainty surrounding Alshon and Gordon. I
you
think
go
if you got
Callaway,
healthy
Boyd?
options, yeah.
Pick one. Stills, Mike Williams, or Sterling Shepard? Sterling Shepard.
Shepard.
Hogan, Quincy, or Carson in PPR? I'll take little Quincy.
Yeah, in PPR, I got to take Quincy. Standard, I would take
I think I
Hogan.
would take Hogan.
Okay. I just think that the floor for Quincy's so
Sure,
high,
I
even
think
in
that's
a bad
fair.
matchup.
That's fair.
Coleman or Hilton? I would play Coleman. Unless it's Corey Coleman, who was cut from the Patriots practice squad.
That's true.
No, it's Hilton.
I think it's Coleman.
Okay. Stills or Allen Robinson? I like Allen Robinson by a lot.
Allen Robinson. I don't
Yeah,
love Robinson,
A-Rob.
but in that situation, yeah.
Wentz in the Bears D or Fitz in the Packers D?
Wentz and the Bears
I kind
D.
of like.
Do those need to be? I'd play Fitz in the
I
Packers
sort
D.
of like Wentz. I know you don't have to get super contrarian at quarterback.
Just play Tannehill instead of those guys.
I've got Tannehill too in a lineup.
Play Carr.
Oh God. Baker Mayfield or Big Ben? Big Ben. We
Big
already
Ben.
did that.
Big Ben.
Sterling Shepard or Josh Gordon? Sterling Shepard.
Shepard.
Oh, here we go. Ebron or Ben Watson? Ebron.
Yeah, it's Ebron.
I have number
Yeah,
4 in
he's
my
a-
tight
he's a
end.
top
rank.
five tight end.
It's Ebron.
Who wouldn't we play? Like who at this point? Who would we actually play Josh Gordon above? Because I feel like we haven't answered Josh Gordon any of these questions.
I have Josh Gordon.
Like how far down would you have to get?
In my wide receiver rankings, I have him above Randall Cobb, who we don't know who is playing or not.
Sure.
Marquise Goodwin, Kenny Stills, Tywan Taylor.
I think that's- sure,
Brandon
that's-
Marshall, Cortland Sutton. I have him behind Dede Westbrook and Amari Cooper. And
I think
Alshon.
Goodwin's a good place. I have him
at number 45 in the wide
Okay.
receiver rankings. Like
Sure.
if you're desperate, go for it. Sony Michelle or Alex Collins?
Collins.
I would play Collins, but you're in on Michelle.
Yep.
And a lot of sharp people are in on Michelle this week. I'm just not buying him.
Yeah, look, I just think they're pretty much equal. They're both back end RB2s.
T.Y. Hilton or Demarius Thomas? I'll take T.Y. Hilton.
Ty.
Yeah, Hilton.
Aaron Jones or Sony Michelle? Sony Michelle.
Yeah, I agree. No. Sorry, no, I don't. I mean, I want Williams.
This guy just says, no Sean
No, it wasn't,
Lee.
it wasn't Williams. It was Jones.
Or Jones. Yeah, I don't want Michelle. So.
Godwin or Breda PPR? Breda.
Breda.
Yeah, Breda.
Watkins or Godwin full point PPR? Watkins.
Watkins.
Yeah.
Demarius Thomas or Alshon Jeffrey? DT.
DT.
Yes.
Hey, love the show. Love you too, Nate. Who should I start? Stills or Mike Williams? Mike Williams.
Mike Williams.
Yep.
Gordon or Shepard? Shepard. A lot of Gordon or Shepard questions. Maybe it's the same guy. I just don't read the name.
It's possible.
Fitzpatrick or Stafford? I'll go Fitzpatrick.
Fitz.
Stafford.
Baldwin or Deshaun? I'll take Baldwin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although I do like Deshaun this week,
You like him every week.
and he's been good most weeks.
He has been good 2 of 3 weeks. Pick 2. Aaron Jones, Dion Lewis, Kenyon Drake, and Kerryon Johnson. I would go Drake and Lewis.
Yeah, I think that's the two.
Lewis and Johnson.
Really like Kerryon Johnson, don't you?
So optimistic
Yeah,
this
the
week.
kid is so good. If he gets the opportunities, he
Yeah,
could be a
but-
top
but-
five
But he
back.
probably won't. That's the thing.
Well, no, but if he is this good, he probably will.
If
If he
ifs
look
and
this
buts
good,
to
he
him.
probably will.
Tyler Boyd or Buck Allen, I would play Boyd.
Yeah, agreed.
Over superstar Buck Allen?
Yeah, over goal line sensation Buck Allen.
Yeah, it's Tyler Boyd.
Buck Allen or Matt Breida, I play Breida.
Yep.
That's close though. That's really
That's
close.
super close. I might be inclined to just take the floor of Buck Allen.
Okay. Garion Johnson or Jay Ajayi, I would play
Ajayi.
Ajayi.
Yeah, I would have to play Ajayi.
Amari Cooper or Deshaun Jackson. Oh.
No, I
take-
like them both this week, but I really
You
like
like
Cooper.
you like Fitz. You might as well just take Deshaun.
Yeah, but I like Godwin, I like Evans more, and I like OJ. Someone can't. If that's how I'm projecting it out, someone can't do
That's
it.
fair.
I guess I'll play Cooper. I don't like either of them.
Look, I mean, we've talked about this before. They're kind of the same guy. I mean, once every 3 weeks, they're just gonna have a massive game.
Yeah, but the massive game for Djax is like one big catch for 70 yards, maybe two.
Yeah,
For
Cooper could
Cooper,
have
it's like
11
17
yeah,
targets
that's
for 100 yards,
Sure.
maybe, on 30 catches. Jamal Williams or Naheem Hines in PPR? I play Hines.
Williams.
Give me the guy who's going to play over 70%
I'm
of
gonna
the
play
snaps.
Hines.
Pick 2, Corey Davis, Josh Gordon, Doug Baldwin, Antonio Callaway. I'd play Baldwin and Davis.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah,
high
I
on
think I
Davis,
would.
but not so much
Yeah,
so
I think
right
I
now
would too.
Callaway.
When Mark Ingram comes back, should he be my running back too? No, drop him. He's in worst
He should
place.
be your running back 0.
Worst place. Worst place. I guess you'll have to be guest rank. You and Jake can guest rank Mark
guest
Ingram
ranking
in my
Mark Ingram on a
rankings.
weekly basis.
Aaron Jones, Royce Freeman, or Naheem Hines? I'd play Aaron Jones.
Freeman.
Yeah, it's Aaron Jones.
Okay, let's try to really rapid fire. We got 5-minute warning. If you like the show, please do give it a like. Keep the show free. Remember, no show next week. But after that, if we get to over 300 likes on this, maybe we won't take another show off after next week for the rest of the year. We'll see. Boyd or Calvin Ridley? Boyd.
Boyd.
Lewis or Freeman? Lewis. What
Freeman.
quarter? Oh man, if you're gonna ask questions here in rapid fire time, don't ask what QB should I start this week, and then give no options. Quincy, Boyd, Alex Collins, or Kenny G? Pick 2. I'll go Kenny G and Little Quincy.
Same.
Yeah.
Breida or Mitchell?
Breida.
Breida. Carry-on, Baldwin or Collins?
Baldwin.
Boyd or Ridley or Ajayi? I'd sticking with Boyd.
I would
I
lean
might go
Ajayi
with Jai
there.
there.
Drop Lockett for Allison?
Sure.
That's such a lateral move.
Yeah, I would say
I
if
prefer-
if you're gonna start Allison this week, sure, but in the long run, if this is just a depth move, keep Lockett.
OBJ or Evans? I'll take Beckham.
Yep.
As will I.
Lynch, Dion Lewis, or Sony Michel standard? I'll take Lynch.
Lynch.
I'll
I think
take
Lynch. Yeah.
Chargers or Ravens D? I would take the Chargers D.
Yes.
Yes.
Barkley or Evans? I would play Barkley.
Yeah.
Yes, I would.
Shepard or Alex Jones? Aaron Jones, sorry. Fake news.
Shepard.
I'll play Shepard.
Yeah, agreed.
Rodgers or Kaiser?
Well, he's Aaron Rodgers definitely hurt, like Tim says.
Watson or Roethlisberger? I'll play Watson.
Yeah. The Ravens defense is good.
Mike Williams or John Brown? I would play John Brown.
Yes.
Mike Williams.
Breda, Baldwin, or Deshaun Jackson? I would play Baldwin.
Agreed.
Yeah. It's
Ridley
close.
or Galladay? I play Galladay.
Galladay. Yep.
Yeah.
Bears D or Packers D? Bears D.
Packers D.
Watkins or Keenan Allen? Keenan Allen.
Yeah. Of course.
Sony Michel, Carry-On Johnson, or Allen Robinson? Sit one. I would sit Carry-On Johnson.
Yeah, me too.
Yes, I would too.
So you play Sony Michel over Carry-On Johnson is what you're saying?
See, I didn't hear Michelle. I'm sorry. No. Sit Michelle. I want nothing to do with Sony Michel. He's overrated and not
Can
good.
we have a Sony
No,
Michel?
we got
versus Kerryon
3
Johnson?
minutes here. We need to get to as many as
fine.
these. Amare, Fitz, or Gordon? I would play Amare.
Murray. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeffrey or Gordon? Jeffrey.
Yep.
I would
Brady,
play Gordon over Jeffrey.
Brady or Rivers?
Oh, Brady.
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 Ugh. Hilton or Landry? Hilton.
Hilton.
I'm saying Landry.
I have them back to back in my rankings. This guy just keeps asking Kaiser or Rogers, so that's not helping. Allison or Shepard? It's Shepard.
Shepard. Yeah.
Yep.
Graham or Watson at tight end? That would
Graham.
actually be Jimmy.
You gotta go
Graham.
Jimmy. Yeah.
Watson. I hate Jimmy Graham.
Look, in season-long leagues, you're just gonna play Jimmy Graham. That's how this works.
Sony Michel and Bears D or Geronimo and Colts D? I like Geronimo and Colts D.
Agreed.
That's fine. Yeah.
Mike Williams or John Brown? John Brown.
John Brown.
Mike Williams.
Jags and Anunwa or Bears and Hogan? I play Jags and Anunwa.
Bears and Hogan.
I play Bears and Hogan.
Okay. Start Larry Fitzgerald, Sammy Watkins, or Marvin Jones. I'll take Marvin Jones.
I'll take Sammy.
I'll take Sammy as well.
Half point. Mike Williams, Marshawn Lynch, John Brown, or James White. I play. Ooh,
I think it's White, even in a half point.
I think it might
James
be.
White.
I think it's John Brown. Crabtree or Baldwin? I play Crabtree.
Crabtree.
Nothing from Tim.
Crabtree.
Okay. Start 2. Lockett, Mike Williams, Will Fuller, Calvin Ridley. Mike Williams
Fuller
and
and
Fuller.
Mike Williams,
Fuller's the
yeah.
only lock on that.
Yes, but Mike Williams is your 2.
Yeah, I agree with Garion.
Shepard or Cole?
Shepard.
Shepard.
Yeah, I think I like Cole better.
Look, in DK, I agree.
Just in general, I think I like Cole.
I think it's season long.
Gosh.
Shepard.
Galladay or Fuller?
Fuller.
Yep.
Corey Davis, Tyler Boyd, or Nelson Aguilar?
Aguilar.
Davis.
Aguilar for me. All right, last 2. Ready?
Yep.
Kareem Hunt or John Brown? I'm still playing Hunt.
Kareem Hunt.
Hunt.
Mike Williams, Hogan, or Baldwin? I would play Baldwin.
I have to play
Actually,
Hogan.
Actually, you know
play
what?
Hogan.
I'd play Mike Williams.
I'm going to play Hogan.
In standard, I would play Mike Williams. Breda versus Carrion?
Breda.
Breda.
Carrion versus Aaron Jones? Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones.
Pick 3. Boyd, Fitz, Cooper, Baldwin. Adams. Just sit Fitz.
Yeah,
sit
sit
Fitz.
Fitz.
Yes.
If it's any sort of decision, just sit Fitz
Yeah.
this week. Fitzmagic or Russell Wilson? Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
Wilson.
Yeah, Russ.
Mahomes over Wentz, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Fournette or Hyde? I would play Hyde.
I'd play Hyde too.
Fournette.
Amare or Chris Carson?
Amari.
Amare? I would play Carson, for sure.
Yeah, Carson.
Lucky Pierre or Rashad Higgins in season long?
Oh my God, Higgins.
Higgins for me.
I agree.
All right, that'll do it on the Pat Mayo Experience. Give the episode a like on your way out. Thank you all for watching. I want to thank Garion for being here. The sweat on the DraftKings YouTube channel and Facebook page has started right now. Garion and I will be hopping on there in a little bit, but that's where the inactives will be, so go check it out. I do want to thank Tim Undercost!
Tim and Just.
It's not my name.
For being on the line, Tim. Sparrow or Subway?
Subway.
Garion, DT or Shepard?
Shepard.
DT for me in that one. Thank you all for watching. Smash the like on the way out. Sub to the pod. Sweat starts right now. I'll see you 10 a.m. Monday morning. That would be tomorrow. Myself and a new special waiver guest, because Celia is joining Garion and I on the Rankings Tuesday night show from now on, because I really like how that show is going. Trying to make Monday more chatty, more podcasty, and we'll get to all your trade and not start sits, but trade questions or waiver questions there too. Thank you all for watching. I'm Pat Mayo. Good luck in week 4. I'll see you next time.